Robert, how are you? I introduced you as the head of sales of Laurent Ferrier, a job that we all would like to have these times, I believe. But you are a friend as well. We've been growing together in the industry in so many ways, and it's a pleasure to have you here from both the personal and the professional level, Robert. Welcome on the limited edition.
Thanks very much, Pietro. Pleasure's all mine. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time, and very pleased that we're able to kind of start this new chapter of our collaboration together between Laurent Ferrier and the limited edition.
Fantastic. So you are the head of sales at Laurent Ferrier. Is there anything to sell, Robert, at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean, I've joined the company in August of last year, and you know, and it's a great time to join Laurent Ferrier because it was really, you know, at the moment that the brand was lifting off. I mean, obviously it started before me, and you know, in all modesty, it's you know, the great work of all the team that they've done, you know, over the years to get to this point. But we are really seeing you know, an unprecedented success for the brand. So, you know, across all of the models, we have you know, we now have a waiting list of approximately 10 months for the pieces. And the Sport Auto that we've just launched, we've sold out of already. So we've had to be fair across our different retail partners and share them out in a fair way. But we've basically allocated all the pieces for 2022 already, and so we're already looking at 2023. So organising ourselves for production next year and sharing volumes out.
That's a very important point because we will discuss about all the details. But one very important point is that this Sports Auto will be an open edition, so exactly. It's not technically a limited edition. So yes, there is a bit of pressure because of course your production capacity is limited, but in time you're looking at satisfying as many customers as possible in the next 2 to 3 years. No, that's the idea.
Exactly. So I mean, yeah, in terms of, you know, the overall collection, we first started out with the tourbillon piece. So the first piece that we launched in 2010 was the tourbillon, which we won a GPHG for 8 months after we launched, and we were very pleased about that. And then after the tourbillon, we launched the micro rotor. So the idea with the micro rotor was that it was a special and a rare horological technology, but at a more accessible price. So that was the idea with the micro rotor, but still in a very kind of dressed sense of the watch and a very, you know, horological perspective to it. Now with the Sport Auto, we are diversifying our offering obviously into the sports segment with a piece that is really designed to be robust, you know, a sporty wear, but still has all the kind of shapes and curves and elegance of a Laurent Ferrier piece. And if you
now there is a sorry, no, we've had the pleasure to interviewing on this channel Laurent Ferrier himself. I was very fortunate because I know there is not that much, you know, in terms of Laurent Ferrier interviews out there on the net. And Laurent is really a fascinating character, and you can tell from him how vivid his life experiences besides watchmaking are, and how important they were in making Laurent what Laurent is today. So would you say that besides the Grand Sport tourbillon, possibly this Sports Auto timepiece that has been launched today is the one that really resembles Laurent the most, also outside of the horological sphere, if you like?
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely outside of the horological sphere for sure. I think, you know, within the horological sphere, like most of the, you know, the other elements in the collection have their place, you know, for the different reasons. But for the reasons that you evoked just now, that, you know, this watch is really tied to one of Laurent and his you know, his business partner and friend François Salvanat's passions, which is motor racing. So they were teammates in the Le Mans 24 Hours. So it's not a marketing story. It's you know, actually a true story. They came third in the 1979 race. And it was out of this friendship that Laurent offered a watch to François. And that was the idea for creating their own brand that was started from there. So this watch is a tribute to that partnership and to those years racing together. So definitely this is you know, one of
like it happens many times in independent watchmaking. It's the personal stories that create the beauty and the charm of a brand. You know, brand is a word that is misused sometimes. Here we're talking about two gentlemen that envisioned something back in the days, and they are now at the point of their life where it's really happening for what they had envisioned in those times. So how much Francois Servanin was also involved with the conception of the sports auto, if we can reveal some behind the scenes?
Well, I think actually to quite a limited extent. So Francois Servanin is the owner, one of the owners, and the CEO of the company, and a very astute businessman. But he leaves kind of all the horological aspects and horological questions to Laurent and his team. So in terms of hands-on kind of design and development of the watch, Francois' involvement was fairly limited. This is really Laurent, and as you saw in the video as well, Christian, his son, that really carried the majority of this work.
There is obviously now there is a refreshed, I would say, trend for sports chic timepieces with a steel bracelet, and that obviously goes back to the origins of Gerald Gente's design and the classics of the Royal Oak, the Nautilus, and in which historically Laurent Ferrier had a very, very prominent historical role to play. However, even in this rebirth of these sports chic designs, Laurent has started to work on a Grand Sport Tourbillon years ago, and this sports auto is the result of years of development and research. It's not just a reactive action in response to a need coming from the market, but Laurent, in that sense, has always been kind of a promoter of the taste for sport, classic, chic that is today. Look at what is happening with Czapek, for example, or what's happening even with Parmigiani, the new PF series are completely sold out. Sorry, it's a bit of a long question, but Rob, part of it comes from the frustration that people have been experiencing recently, not being able to acquire what they were looking for. But again, this was a very long-term kind of project for Laurent Ferrier, himself personally and the brand. Yeah.
No, definitely. I think it was, and I think this the Grand Sport Tourbillon was launched in 2019 as a 10th anniversary of the brand, and it's fitting that once again that be a sports watch and another homage to their participation in the men's 24 hours, and this latest one is another one on top of that. And I think as well, as you were kind of talking about, sport chic elegance, I think Laurent and his team have really accomplished something quite spectacular with this watch, because it is a sports watch on a metal bracelet, but it's a real honor and inspiration to work alongside somebody like Laurent and listen to him when he's kind of thinking and conceptualizing and designing these pieces, and every little line, every little curve, should it be a little bit more, a little bit less? Everything is thought out. It's really no detail is left to chance. He's thought about every little piece, and one of the differences, I would say, with this watch with respect to others is sport watches is that the sapphire glass is domed and not flat like you find on most of the other ones, and this is to kind of bring it closer to the main collection, like the micro rotor squares, things like that have this domed glass as well.
Yeah, shall we point out, because things have gone so quickly that yes, you can see the new sports auto on our feed now, and I guess on the Laurent Ferrier feed as well. Here it is now public news, and of course you said there is a link to what was done with the Grand Sport Tourbillon. There was an incredible timepiece, sold out now, and slightly potentially not attainable for a large part of the collectors community. In this case, we have obviously a more attainable offer with the new sports auto. But what are the differences that we should point out, apart from the aesthetics, Robert, where we can see a slightly different case, a little bit more square compared to the Grand Sport Tourbillon, and of course the slight design of the bracelet.
Exactly. So aesthetically, I think you've highlighted the main differences between the Grand Sport Tourbillon and the Sport Automatic. The big difference with this watch, of course, is the new movement that this watch has in it. So the tourbillon has a tourbillon, which is a fantastic movement, and this is a brand new caliber that's been designed for this watch. So the movement on the watch, it's the aesthetic design of the movement is done on purpose to kind of correspond with the family of our previous movements, but it is an entirely new movement with a Swiss anchor mechanism, which is better suited to sports watch usage compared to a micro rotor with the natural escapement technologies.
So there's no natural escapement in this one as a
exactly
difference. Yeah.
We really wanted it's a sports watch, and we wanted the robustness of the watch to be guaranteed, and so we designed it accordingly.
Okay, so it is a new canvas, a new platform, a new movement. Does that suggest that we are seeing a new family then being born for the future with different executions that may follow both aesthetically and technically?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not keeping anything from you guys. I would expect so, but there's nothing concrete in the pipeline. But I'd be very surprised if new technologies, new complications are not built onto this movement in the next few years. Fantastic.
And a question that we have already had from, and actually I invite who is watching this live, if you have any questions, burning questions that you want to ask Robert, since he's here available, before he goes and does the allocation that is going to be going.
Well, that's done, I'm afraid, my friend.
So yeah, but you answered that question because you said the allocation is going to be done evenly throughout the network of official retailers, of which the limited edition is part, and we're very honored to be. Yes, Beau Lafayette. Yeah, sorry.
I think on that point, it's you alluded earlier on to the fact that people kind of have their frustrations sometimes not being able to get the pieces that they want, and we've planned the production, and we're very happy and very humbled and very thankful, but we've been a little bit victims of our own success in the last year or so.
Absolutely. And the big challenge will be to avoid a frustration that may raise, which is one of the reasons why independent watchmaking is doing so well, is because of a little bit of frustration that increased in terms of some of the bigger brands being completely unattainable at the moment, not in terms of price, but in terms of availability. But yeah, there was a very functional question that I had for you, Robert, that I had from a few, and Beau Lafayette is putting here as again. Will the option of a rubber strap as well happen sometime in the future for this sports auto?
Yeah, so it's something that we have in the pipeline. It's something that is planned. Exact timings we haven't got fixed yet, but it's something that we will offer in the future at some point. At the moment we ship the watch on the metal bracelet. We've had a lot of requests already for rubber straps, so it is something that we will develop, but it's not currently on the design table, so we don't have a time frame for that, but it will come.
Okay, fantastic. We also have a request to show the watch a little bit more, because yes, you are the only one, I think, the only human being in the world having the pleasure of actually having the watch yourself.
That's pretty much true, actually. There's I have one prototype next to me, and this is the head watchmaker's functioning watch that he's doing all the final tests with.
Can you put it where your face is now, because I can see there's the light pointing there, and maybe we can use the same kind of light to
let me try it with
How do you feel the weight? The weight is, Robert, it's a 41.5 millimeter scale, no? So not very invasive on the wrist.
Exactly, and it's very, very smooth. Like the way that all the watch sits on the wrist is very, very smooth. And also, this gives you an example of one of the details that Laurent thinks about, is that when you look at the strap here, you see it doesn't hang directly. It's been designed in such a way that there's a curve where the bracelet meets the lugs, so that it fits more comfortably on the wrist. To answer your question about weight, the watch weighs 98.4 grams precisely. So with the bracelet, the metal bracelet included. So very comfortable on the wrist.
Absolutely, and you compare that with a thickness that is in and around 12 millimeters, if I remember well. So it makes it, it makes it quite wearable.
Very much so. No, it really is a comfortable watch to have on your wrist.
Yeah. And so we understand very well, you know, Laurent Ferrier is a brand these days projected to the future, still with a limited production capacity and with an artisanal vision of intending watchmaking. How much is Laurent, as much as his son, still involved, you know, with the horological part of both the development and the execution?
I mean, very much so. I mean, Laurent very much is, you know, oversees the designs of the watches as a whole, and has you know, a lot of input into how everything is done. There's obviously a whole team behind him. We look after different aspects. You know, designer that does the design aspects of the watch. Christophe that helps a lot with the movements. Obviously, the watchmaking workshop and in the assembly and putting all the watch together. But Laurent is very much involved in the whole process.
Nice one. So there is a question about the price, and if you can put the watch on your wrist as well to see how it fits. Yeah. There is that request as well. So I love this question. Yeah, I'll let you answer everything together, Robert, because both Robert and I are former big groups, you know, kind of people that have converted into the world of independent watchmaking. And is this a pitch for LVMH or Richmond acquisition? Be honest, Robert. I think it's quite the opposite, isn't it?
No, not at all. Exactly. I mean, I think, on that front, I think, with all due respects to, our colleagues in the bigger groups, at the moment, this is the time for independence. And the brands that are, standing on their own are doing super well. And we obviously want to continue in that trend as an independent brand.
We've even seen brands from big groups now setting themselves free and becoming independent again, such as Girard-Perregaux and Ulysse Nardin.
Exactly, and we wish them the best of luck. And I think you made an allusion to kind of artisanal watchmaking, and it's one thing that we really pride ourselves on, and it makes a difference for us. It's, everything is done by hand. All the polishing is done by hand. All the internal angles, the tight angles, are all perfectly polished by hand. If this is done by machinery, you don't have the same level of finish. So it's it's in our interest to stay independent and be able to do this kind of artisanal work that would be possibly more complicated as part of a bigger group.
Very good. Can we show then the wrist shot?
Yeah. So it's this is our watchmaker has a smaller wrist than I do, so it's a little bit tight. But can you see it?
Yes. 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 Anyway, this is very early days, of course. The watch has just been released, and you'll have the time now to read, I guess, on all the most reputable blogs, horological blogs out there on the limited edition, if you like and if you want. Obviously, the watch will be listed. And as Robert said, we already had before the launch a lot of inquiries, reservations. We will do our best, Robert, because we are one of those that have already had more inquiries to what we can possibly deliver. So the idea, Robert, is to scatter the production, which goes proportionally to your capacity over 2022, 2023, and then 2024, and so on, basically, especially with a collection that, as you said, is going to stay in the catalog. Yes.
Exactly. No, exactly. So it's all. This is a collection piece. It's not a limited edition. We want to be as fair as possible to everybody. We aren't limiting production. For commercial purposes. It really is. It's the size of the rooms. It's the number of people that we have working for us. It's the components that we have available. So it's a real physical and production constraint that we have. And within that constraint, we want to be as fair as we possibly can to all of our partners and obviously end clients around the world. Perhaps we can do this more often as well to keep people updated and just to make the story real as much as we can, and we are used to doing. I had a question as well, Robert. Somebody asked me today if you were launching as well the new Classic Origin soon, or if now we have to wait for Watches and Wonders. It's Watches and Wonders. Watches and Wonders launch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So are you looking at launching a fair few new editions? How is it going to be for you, Watches and Wonders? Yeah. So Watches and Wonders, we will launch 3 pieces, 3 new pieces, and then we will launch 2 new pieces later on in the year.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's brilliant. Robert, thank you for your time. It's been really valuable for all of us, I guess. And you don't need any luck, I think, for this launch. I should just say, well done.
Thank you very much.
And on my side, the Sport Auto, the new edition from Laurent Ferrier, is available technically from today. There are already reservations going on, so you can ask and we can give you a reasonable time frame. At the moment, we're looking at already 2023. And as we've been explained, it is because of production capacity, and it is not the hype game being played here. So we'll do our very, very best. That's the only thing we can promise.
Great.
Thank you, Robert. I will see you very soon at Watches and Wonders. And once again, please convey our congratulations to the whole team. The watch is a stunner, and the brand is getting exactly where it deserves to be as far as we are concerned. And we should only congratulate to you all.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Pietro.
And thank you. You take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.